Now, live from Rogers, Arkansas. Watching the Ozark skies. From Walton and Walnut. To Vanderbilt and the Fort. Here's the whiz of Oz weather. Garrett Lewis.
And thank you, Chuck. As we head into the afternoon hours, these storms are going to pick up. So what I wanted to do right now is we go through, what are we at, 12:50 or so in the afternoon. Maybe you've gotten home from Easter sunrise services. I know it was soggy early on. There's been a bit of a pause, but we're getting a little bit soupy now as that cold front moves through. This cold front will cause some severe weather. So let's talk about where we are, where we're going, and what happens after that. First things first, this is the area to watch. So the Storm Prediction Center put this out earlier. This does include all of western Arkansas and eastern Oklahoma, including a tornado watch within this area. I'm watching that low, see the little L by Tulsa? There's a triple point there. So it's where the warm front, the cold front, the dry line, they all intersect. And that typically is where some of the stronger storms will form. I think that does track northeast and it may get across Benton County with time. I do think storms, though, are possible up and down the I-49 corridor from Bella Vista back down through Louisiana and Texarkana. So let's take a look at what's happening now. That's a live look out there. This is Embassy Suites. You can see the low cloud cover that's still out there. Those low clouds will continue for the afternoon and evening until we get this front that eventually starts to make its way in and then makes its way all the way through western Arkansas and eastern Oklahoma. So where are the storms, dude? All right, here they are. You can see them lined up from north to south. I'll use this radar source, then we'll change to another one here in a second. But first, the one thing to look at and to note here is the intensity is growing on the storms. So if we zoom in a little bit, I'm going to change the product here to measure how much water is in the storm. And I do this a lot to see if the storm is intensifying or weakening. And so I'm looking for trends. Are we getting more big blue areas or not? Actually, these look like they're holding their own, right? I don't see anything that indicates a strengthening trend. And as we zoom out across the region here, it's about the same thing. Looks like they did just issue a severe thunderstorm warning, though. So let's check that thing out. The Weather Service, did they just put this one out? It looks like it may have just come across. Yeah, it did, actually. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning. Let's see where this one goes for. It's northeast Oklahoma. It's going to be for the little cell that's there northeast of Muskogee. So a close look at that shows the storm here near the Holbert area. Imagine they issued this on probably wind, it looks like. Let's see here. Gusty winds. It's certainly not big in the hail zone, but perhaps some winds. They've got it moving northeast at 55 miles an hour. Criteria on this was 60 mile per hour winds. So kind of what we thought there, looking at it. That said, we got more moving in. Look at all this junk down to the southwest. This is tracking northeast. So this stuff does get into Fort Smith. And as it coincides with peak daytime heating, I do think the tornado threat increases quite a bit too, heading into about the 2 and 3 o'clock hour as this stuff makes its way from the Oklahoma area into Arkansas and crosses that state line. Another look at it here for you. This is another view of the radar, big picture view. You can see that severe thunderstorm warning in effect here just west of Tahlequah, and the whole thing moving east along that cold front. So it's a fairly large system that's swinging east, and we'll have rain in the area probably from about 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock, and then things should start to let up just a bit after that and hopefully simmer down for the next couple of days, and we'll have some some not as crazy weather as it seems like we've had here lately. All right, let me go over to the surface maps here. So let's take a look at what's going on with the atmosphere. First things first, well, this is the actual model data here. So what I want to do with this is we'll step through time on this one to show you when they move through. Let's see here. We're at 1750 Zulu now, so we're approaching 1 o'clock. So this is where the storms are according to the models, and this actually seems like it's handling it pretty well. I'm going to see if I can get a new grid loaded, though, just because it'll be a little bit more updated data. There we go. So where are we at here? 19 Zulu? Yeah. So here are the storms in the next hour. So as we go through the next hour, they should be lined up. This is like right at 2 o'clock. So here's two, and then three, and then four, and then five. So you guys can see how this is a mostly an early afternoon type thing. The storms are going to race through the area and then move to the east. I do think the storms up and down this line between two and three, though, are going to have at least some tornado risk with it as it moves in from the west to the east. So there is going to be a tornado risk with that stuff as it makes its way through. And again, the timeline to watch is about an hour from now or so. So we still got a little bit of time to watch this and see how it plays out. But the storms are already on radar. They're all moving in. You can see them here lighting up on the radar. I took a break last night from the storms. I was watching for tornado warnings. We didn't end up with any, thank goodness. But I'll be covering these in depth today as they make their way up and down the corridor here and into the natural state. More thunderstorms. Good grief, right? It'll be interesting to see, too, how much in the way of rain we get once we look at the cumulative totals, looking ahead towards looking from the last 3 days. That's a lot. I bet most of us are 4 or 5 inches of rainfall out there. It looks like I've got two microphones on. Does it sound better if I do this? Or does it sound better if I do this? I don't know, but I'm going to fix it in between these cut-ins. And then as I fix that, I'll be back on the air with you guys here talking about storms, maybe even put on a white shirt. I don't know. It may be a sleeves up day here in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley with these storms that are moving in from Oklahoma. You got about an hour, hour and a half or so before they hit. See you guys back in a bit.